Hello and welcome to SafeAssign information session. So this is the first of a series of sessions that will be available for you online. This is an information session. The other sessions will be related to how you can use it and the different things to do with training so that you can use it effectively with your students. So let's look at first of all, what is SafeAssign? So SafeAssign is essentially a text matching tool. It takes text that the students have submitted in their assignments and it matches it with different text available through a variety of different databases. I'll go through those in the next slide. If we encourage the students to use it, it can be a fabulous educative tool. If we encourage them to critically analyse the report that SafeAssign gives them and whether it says this text exactly matches or whether it gives them percentages of matching so they can check it and see, okay, it matched this amount, yes, I've cited it, yes, it's a direct quote, fabulous. It doesn't give you a warning that says this is plagiarized. All it says is this text matches other text available on the internet. So lecturers still have to critically have a look at it as well to see whether they have cited and used appropriate references. Now, the databases that it links to. The first one is it basically goes through the internet. So all of the stuff that's available through Google, that's what SafeAssign looks for. It's also got access to the ProQuest and the Inform database. So there's lots and lots of articles in there, but it's not as comprehensive as all of the articles that are currently available through the library. Now, the third one in purple is that it links and looks at the institutional document archives. So as we start to build up more and more units that are using SafeAssign, it'll have a whole lot of assignments that get loaded in there. So it will be able to cross-match against any other assignments. So for example, students who think that it's okay to write an essay, submit it for one unit, and then take out 70% of that, change the last paragraph and submit it for another unit. It'll actually come back as 100% matched or 70% matched to their own work, which is not okay because they should be doing unique assignments for each assignment. Now, it also links to the Global Reference Database. That's not currently enabled at Notre Dame. It's just part of us going through our trial to see what's going to be useful and not. This database is voluntary from a student point of view, and as they submit their work, they can choose whether they want to add it into the Global Reference Database. It can be used for two different purposes. We're concentrating on the first one. We're allowing students to check a draft of their assignment prior to submitting their final one. So we want students to critically analyse their work and look at their citation practices that they have used. If you are worried as a lecturer, you also have the capability of checking the assignments for their text originality. So you can do what's called a direct submit and you can pop the assignments through and you will get your own individual report that says what they have done. You will also be able to access all of the reports that the students have previously created based on their submissions. Now, at the moment, SafeAssign and the assignment link are two separate links. You make a SafeAssign link or you make an assignment link, and you can make an assignment link. So at the moment, they're not linked. You can't mark the SafeAssign submission. You can only view it as the report. However, Blackboard has now enabled this and we're trialing it and testing it in our test server at the moment. And for semester 1 next year, that will be updated. So I'll just rely on giving you a little bit more training to show you how easy it's going to be with this new integration. Now, when you create an assignment, a lecturer creates an assignment as a safe assignment in a content area. You enter the instructions for submission and there's a particular wording that you need, but you also need to tell them not to attach their cover sheet and not to attach their reference list. So remove both of those. It just means that it will avoid them matching to all of the other cover sheets that have probably been put through previously. You can set a start date or a date range for the submissions. This next one in the green down second from the bottom is to make it as a draft or a final. Draft means it doesn't get added to the database, so the students can add in a number of drafts and that way they won't get 100% matched to their previous draft and so on. And you can make the student report viewable or you can choose not to have it viewable. I don't see the point of not making it viewable. If we're looking at it as an education process, that's how we make it viewable so the students can see what they've done and therefore they can go through the process of checking and fixing their work. If we look at it from the student point of view, from the content area that is nominated, usually the assessment area, they select the link. It's usually a big green one. The Upload SafeAssign page will appear. They complete the page and fill in the comments. They locate their assignment. They load it up in the Upload button. They click Submit. Somewhere between 2 and 15 minutes, a report will be generated. If more than one draft is provided, they can do this whole process a few times. So they can check their work, fix it, resubmit it, and so on. Now remember that the SafeAssign green link is different to the grade one, which is a ruler and a page link. That one there they will need to do as well if they also have an assignment link. Couple of things to note: if the paper being submitted has images in it, the images mustn't exceed 2 megabytes or the submission will fail, and the entire document must be less than 10 megabytes. From Grade Centre point of view, this is what the students will see when they click into the link. They will see the text that they put up, they'll see their original file, they'll see a matching percentage, and they'll be able to click and access the SafeAssign report. Lecturers will see something very similar, but they will see it from the point of view of all of the students. So with that matching column that you have there, what they can do is they'll be able to see each of those. They might have a number in their head that says, right, everything over 30% I'm going to check, or anything at 1% I'm going to check, and so on. So depending on the course, depends on the number. Will you see that in the next slide? So the teacher's view in the Grade Centre, again, looks very similar. You can see that SafeAssign has a link there, but it doesn't show for you that summary that's in the other one. All right. Now, in terms of the SafeAssign report, it gives you back a percentage that is matched. Now, it doesn't say to you that that matched percentage is correctly cited. It just says that is matched. So 0 to 5%. We want to encourage the students not to aim for 0. 0 is not a good thing because it means they've got no evidence to back up their research. So we want to ensure that 0 to 5% is used for things like when you do a personal reflection or something like that, where you've got very low evidence-based required. Most of the time, I will encourage the students to aim for between 5 to 15%. So it means they've got some quotes, probably some common phrases included in there. Again, it doesn't say that they have referenced all of that information though. It just says that 5 to 15% matches something that's available in one of those databases. 15 to 40% means that there is quite a few quotes and paraphrase materials. You would need to check definitely for correct citations. However, people perhaps working in the arts or people working in history and so on, they are expecting to have between 20 to 30% of adequately referenced materials because they want extensive quotes that are provided. 40% plus might be a little bit excessive. Even if it's referenced correctly, it means not enough of the authentic voice of the student is apparent in their essay. This is the type of report that they will receive. So they'll get a percentage of text matching. They'll actually be able to see the links of all of these sources that they accessed. They'll then be able to see in their text, highlighted in the same colour as its source, the text that matches. When they click on that, they'll actually be able to see a sentence-by-sentence comparison of their work with the source text. So they can see how much they have copied from somewhere else and how much they have paraphrased. Because a lot of times they think they've paraphrased, but they've actually done big chunks of copying. Now, the acceptable file formats, they can put up a Word, a plain text, a rich text, a PDF, or a HTML. They cannot put up Pages documents. A lot of them have tried, and unfortunately, it often doesn't even give them an error report. It just fails to load or fails to give them a report. I recommend that either Word or PDF are the most stable. If Word documents don't go up, then do a conversion to PDF and pop that up. The unit outline, the new template that has been circulated to everyone, has this wording in it, so it means you must include that if you're going to be using SafeAssign. There's a matching one that they talk about in the SafeAssign guidelines, and that is the one that you need to put for the actual link that goes in, but I'll go through that in the training modules. Some things to consider. Blackboard doesn't at the moment integrate SafeAssign and the assignment submission. So if you want them to submit their assignments online for you to mark, then you've got to use the correct link. It's only using SafeAssign. It only generates an originality report. It doesn't say they've used correct APA referencing or anything like that. And you must state it on the unit outlines and on their cover sheets and entries and so on. Now, if you're thinking about using SafeAssign, this is a bit of a decision time for you. So let's have a look at this table. Let's have a think. Is it suitable for my assessment? So if we go on the left first, my assessment is an essay or a reflection or some type of written, structured, formatted, written piece. Does it require evidence-based research? Yes, then probably it's suitable for SafeAssign. If your assignment is not an essay, so if you're asking them to do a video, a PowerPoint or something like that, that means it's an alternative assessment, so therefore it's probably not suitable for SafeAssign. The only file types that can go through are PDF and Word and rich text and so on. They cannot put through a PowerPoint or anything else. So what happens next? So all of the staff who are going to use SafeAssign must attend some training. The training sessions and dates are available through the Fremantle PD emails, but I'm actually providing some online materials for people who may be interested on the Broome campus. Semester 2 of this year is a trial time, and what we mean by trial is it's not trialling it to see if we're going to use it. We are going to use it, and it is enabled at Notre Dame. We're trialling it to see what works for our Notre Dame students, and we're going to ask you for feedback if you have used it, and the feedback will be about the way that you used it, how many links you provided for them, where you put the links, how many students accessed it. We're going to get some feedback about the different practices that you used and what worked well for you. We're going to again have it available in semester 1 next year, and again new staff will still require training. If you have used it this semester, you won't need to do training twice though. So we're going to ensure that we can create a set of documents that make it easy for people who are going to use SafeAssign. And finally, I've got a whole lot of presentation and sharing materials that you can use to explain materials to your students as well as for yourself. So I'll provide links for those via various sources. Thanks for listening and hope to talk to you all soon.